Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, welcome one and all to the singular new cool thing I'm allowed to talk about because it wasn't much of a spoiler. Seriously, when people were watching the new trailer, I was training my Palamute to use a blunt weapon like his papa does. However, there was one thing that we did learn a little bit about that I am allowed to know about: the NPCs, or more specifically, the extra usage of NPCs as actual partners in your quests. As shown right at the end of this new trailer, when Hinoa and Minoto show up wielding a lance and a bow to help out with the Rampage defending the base. This combined with a short paragraph on the website for the game telling us that these are not the only NPCs able to join us, but not giving away too much information about the mechanic as a whole. That leaves us in an interesting place, because we know what is going on, but we don't know in what situations or to what degree, or how it will actually function within the reality of the game. We just know the idea of it. There are varying degrees of assumptions that I've seen about this, but to start with the most likely one in my mind, NPCs will be able to help out with village rampage quests. All quests would be too hectic, and NPCs acting this way in a multiplayer quest would make the screen extremely busy, but these may very well work as AI hunters to help out with a type of content they might view to be complex to properly solo. The Rampage. Multiple waves of monsters followed by a boss. Don't worry, I don't know any real information about the boss state monsters or like the overall Rampage. I just know that there's waves of monsters, a special superpowered something going on at the end. I'm really doing my best to keep talking to you guys about this new stuff without spoiling myself. Back on track, it seems like a lot to deal with for a singular hunter. It's not the same as a multi-monster quest because in all likelihood, you're defending a structure, meaning all of the monsters will be a threat at every moment in the fight. One hunter can divide the attention of monsters if they're on the offensive, fight them one at a time, no problem. But the way that the Rampage works makes a lot of sense to involve a few AI friendos programmed to act like regular hunters for solo players, just to even the playing field a little bit. An interesting further consideration is, what if this isn't quite that limited? We have footage and a picture of these two in the arena, and that is all we have to work with, so assuming that this relates to the Rampage quest makes a lot of sense. It probably does. But what if it extends past this as well? What if in village quests just as a whole, you could take any NPC you gain the trust of, or whatever side questy explanation they give you unlocking them to help. Imagine if in Iceborne, when playing solo, you could just ask the huntsman to come on a quest with you. Or an example that actually happened within the game, Aiden the excitable A-lister, whose name I know sounds like Adrian, but it's Aiden. Adrian! Sylvester, were you even listening to me? I told you it wasn't Adrian. Okay, in the initial Fatalis questline, before you unlock the assignment itself, you are pushed into a solo version of the quest that you just can't do with others, where you have to fight until the first 25% of his health to experience the massive flame breath. And in this specific version of this portion of this quest, you have this NPC fighting alongside you. Not doing much, but he fires off shots from the distance and occasionally tries to heal you, so it's something. And to me, I see an experiment here, in the same way that wire bugs in Rise are a complex combination of wedge beetles, the clutch claw, and hunter arts in a really cool way. This mechanic could have used this section of the Fatalis quest as an experiment to see how hunters responded and react accordingly during the development process. It's not confirmed, obviously, but it's something I could totally believe being the case, in which case I see this as a prototype for how the mechanic would work. Because what if they really have been working on a proper hunter AI, the same way that your Palico or Palamute has an AI, but for specific NPCs with their own specific weapons, like hunters. I could totally see that happening now that this mechanic exists. And if that was the case, would they lock it to only the village rampage? Because that is a super interesting mechanic with probably some good depth to it too. So I ask again, what if it just applies to all village quests from the start of the game until the end of the game? What if it's not even locked to village quests at all? What if these are just optional hunter stand-ins, and in the hub, if you don't have 4 hunters, you can have up to 3 of these NPCs to help you out. Of course, the system wouldn't be anywhere near perfect. The hunters would have their limits, and if their carts counted towards your total personally, it would cause a lot of issues, but I could see some version of this being implemented in the game in this larger sense. Not quite literal hunter replacements, but almost like a secondary palico system, another helper who can output damage and assist your hunts, but not quite with the brain power or effectiveness of an actual player-controlled hunter.
He is exactly like you in every way. Except 1/8 your size.
In fact, on the website, the entry about this is literally under the title, Helpful Friends, which seems to line up with this Palico-esque system theory that I have going on here, which again, lines up with the Rampage. Like maybe it isn't even village-specific or solo-specific, maybe it's just Rampage-specific. Maybe you'll have this in multiplayer Rampage too. Maybe they really just see the Rampage as being this much of an overwhelming force that you need extra backup. And again, like I said earlier, it just sort of makes sense. There's lots of monsters. A single monster is viewed as a multi-monster threat, and when you go on a quest, you have limited things that you can bring with you, limited people that you can bring with you because of the hunting rules. But for this, for the Rampage, you're at the base. You're defending your home. They're coming at you. A lot of the rules that we have that are predefined for the way that we hunt, because if we go on quests normally, those are thrown out the window because we're defending ourselves and we have to be able to take care of ourselves, and therefore, who knows, we might even break the 4 hunter limit. I say hunter because I was counting the idea of like, what if we have 1, 2 hunters, 3 hunters, and then we've got 3 NPCs helping. What if it doesn't even fill actual party slots? It might just be a regular Rampage thing that happens during the Rampage. Like I said, in the multiplayer, you could just have them there. Could just be a part of it because they think it's that complex. There's lots of monsters in a small space. It's just the way that things will be happening. It's coming at you real fast and you'll need ways to deal with it. Again, we have so little information on this, but given it's like the only thing that I'm actually allowed to know as far as new information goes, I really wanted to talk to you guys about it and let you know my thoughts on it. I just really want to talk about Rise. I think this would be an interesting way to work in the amiibo system that they have already shown as well. A Magnamalo amiibo may get you Magnamalo layered, but what if a Chimera Chief amiibo unlocks the Chimera Chief to fight alongside you as an NPC? Just food for thought. There's a lot of potential for this system to go, a lot of ways that the system could go, and a lot of ways it could grow. Anything is possible in the Monster Hunter universe. We're entering uncharted territory. That said, we had a quick ask of what you guys think on the mechanic from what we've seen so far, and the overwhelming response was that you are going to reserve judgment until we see a bit more of how the mechanic actually functions in the game. Then a good portion of you said that you like the idea. A bunch of others were a bit concerned about the balancing, and a very small amount of people disliked the concept as a whole. In other words, based on this sample, 98% of you are at the very least interested to see what Capcom does with this mechanic before making any decisions about it, keeping an open mind to what is to come. And that is exactly what I like to see from the Monster Hunter fanbase. We're all on this crazy ride together, so treat it like a roller coaster. Throw your hands in the air and scream! Oh, wait, that's just good advice for Hammer users. Sorry, everyone else. Alright, everyone, I've been Cotton Dinosaur, and this has been a bit of a discussion on the newly revealed, but not deeply explained, NPC helper system in Monster Hunter Rise. What do you guys think this mechanic will actually look like implemented in the full game? Will it be overbearing, or a welcome addition? Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.